Welcome to Storycomic Presents, where we interview amazing storytellers and artists. This is episode 449. I'm your host, Barney Smith of Storycomic.com. We're excited to have with us the internationally acclaimed and award-winning children's book author, Danette Yancey.
Oh, thank you, Barney, for the introduction.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
So I have some engaging questions for you, Danette. And before we start learning a little bit about you yourself as a children's book author, what started you off into putting your book together called Muffin Meets Chloe? This sounds really exciting.
So, so I'm going to take it back. So I used to teach medical assisting. I was a medical assistant instructor, and one of my students gave me a dog. She's a Maltese mixed with Chihuahua. So I named her Muffin. So I was happy to have her. She didn't give her to me for a grade, but because she was already a good student. And I was happy to have her, And during COVID, um, I decided to write a book. And when I received Muffin, I was just wondering, I'm like, I wonder what she think of me. Like, in a dog's perspective, in a puppy's perspective, what do they think? Like, oh, who is this person? And is this person scary? So I just took the book and put it in a perspective of a puppy's perspective. Of,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you mentioned, Muffin is based off of a real dog, and it was inspired by some real experience as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Chloe is me.
Okay.
Yes, Chloe is me, and Muffin is Muffin, and just basically her experience, of coming home, learning her owner, and I just took it and put it as in the children's version.
Right. So, why was it important for you to tell a story about trust and change from a children's perspective?
Because I believe that with children, that's the way to learn how to trust, right? You're getting introduced to something new. It's a little scary, but you just take the chance. And if it's introduced correctly, that's what I want to say. If it's introduced correctly to the child, then they're able to be a little more trusting. And, sometimes, like I was afraid of dogs when I was little. Yes, I ran from a dog. It was a little dog and it was raining outside. I ran and ran and ran. And the little dog barked at me. Once I fell, the dog barked at me. But eventually I didn't get bitten or anything of that. But my father ended up getting a dog.
Mm.
So he introduced our German Shepherd. Now it was the German Shepherd. Um, to myself, my twin sister, and my little brother. So that's how I end up liking dogs, trusting dogs, patting them, and getting to learn to love them.
Right. Now, so I grew up with pets. I love
Mhm.
I had dogs and cats and everything. My wife never grew up with pets. So, of course, because she doesn't want pets, we don't have pets. And so and it's I and so I don't say
Did she have a
my
bad experience though?
well, no, she's from Nigeria, so they don't actually
Mhm.
the concept of pets doesn't make sense. So like dogs are for protection, cats are for pest control. So the idea of actually having something else in the home that isn't contributing, like so it's kind of hard. But anyway, so my daughter was able to convince my wife to let her have a hamster. So she had a hamster, and so she understands that pet. So um, my around the bend question, I guess, Danette, is uh, for children who don't have pets, would this book still resonate with them?
Yes. Yes, they probably will want a pet. I've also done storytelling, and I will bring Muffin to the storytelling. And oh, the kids, they just love her, love her. So, even if, they'll pet her, some of them you can tell that they never had a pet, and they'll pet her real slow. And I just think if it's the pet is introduced slowly to the child, then they can be able to adapt to them.
Right. Now, how has the kids responded to Muffin's story during when you do readings?
Oh, they was very engaged, very engaged. They really wanted to have Muffin.
Mm.
They wanted to have Muffin. Muffin was very excited, but they was very engaged. And I do a lot of how do you say it? The dramatical reading. So so they was engaged with that as well.
And so talk again a little bit about your that moment, a decision to say, I want to tell this story, and it's got to be a children's book story. How did that come about?
You know what, Barney? It just came to me. That's what happened. When I was a child, me and my twin sister, we did a lot of imagination and drawing and things of that nature. So um, this story, it just resonated with me.
Mm.
I wanted to write. I actually wrote the second one. I'm,
Really?
I'm I'm actually working on that one right now.
Okay. So what's the second one's title?
So it'll be it's still Muffin Meets Chloe, but I'm gonna kind of change the title a little bit. So I just mainly worked on what I wanted to express, like Muffin going to the vet, her first
Okay.
time going to the vet, and things of that nature. That it's a lot of first times.
Okay. And so and will this also so will your book as you are you planning on writing more in this series as well?
Yes.
And will there be a point where you're actually going to have Chloe grow as it
Yeah.
goes, or she's perpetually going to be the same age?
No, Chloe's gonna grow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna shift it, but yeah,
Okay.
Chloe's gonna grow.
And so you're gonna have like her grow as long like and will the books grow too in the sense that all of a sudden they're gonna be young like young adult books and then kind of go on and then when and then what you could do is then like in 10 years you'll write like novels about Chloe and Muffin.
Yes, I mean it's I want to graduate Chloe and Muffin at the same time.
Okay.
That's so that's my goal is making it expand the idea of having maybe something separate with Chloe.
Okay. And what is your talk to us a little bit about how you're able to get the book together. Now, how did you find the illustrator?
It was a lot of online, Barney. It was a lot of going online trying to find illustrators that was able to capture uh, my thoughts.
Mm,
So I sent them a picture of myself as a child.
okay.
So I wanted it the likeness of me as a child.
What is your recommendation for somebody who is looking at wanting to put a book out but doesn't even know how to pick up a pencil to draw? What would be your recommendation to them on how to successfully how to find a capable artist?
Well, they have what they want to know first of. Well, you want to know what um, type of drawing you want of yourself. That's important.
Mm,
Um, you want to also try to just look for a illustrator and look at their drawings, and maybe their drawings may be close to what you're looking for.
okay.
And if you also can if you could send them something like and say, hey, can you draw this for me? and send it back to me so I can see, just so you can understand if you want to kind of go forward with this person, or you want to pay for this person to do the illustrations for you.
Hmm. And what was the hardest part about writing this book?
It was more so, it was the edits.
Hmm.
It was more so because I'm so like down to the T type. So if a string looked a little off, I'm like, hey, I want that color pink, not blue. Like, so that probably was the hardest part, probably for the illustrators. They probably was like tired of me. Like,
and, and so what did you learn about yourself putting this book together?
that I need to develop more patience.
And what skill sets and what have you learned from your first book that you're actually utilizing now, putting out to your second book?
More skill sets of just the patience is that's there. I have to. That's the thing. So working for on the patience, and also broadening my horizons on where what else I can do to take this book higher.
Okay. And was there any scenes in the book that was kind of especially emotional for you to write?
Well, the whole book was emotional for me because when I wrote this book, and it took a little while for it to come out, it was um, for my grandmother. And my grandmother passed away October of last year.
Mm,
And she knew about the book. I showed her the pictures. The day she passed was the day that it was finished with the with everything. And I was,
okay.
yeah. So it's a dedication piece inside of the book with my grandmother and my mother.
Well, hey there. If you're enjoying our podcast, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep this show going. We love hearing from you, so any feedback is welcome. And thank you for being a part of our podcast family and for all your support. It truly means a lot to us. As you're putting this book together, did you recall any of the children's books that you read growing up that kind of inspired you to move forward?
Well, the books I used to read was like Nancy Drew or Bearstein Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, there. Those were the books I read, and then um, we read a. My grandmother got us a lot of encyclopedias, so
Okay.
we were reading a lot of encyclopedias, and I know people were like, "Oh, that's so weird," but that's what we had when we were growing up. And I was thankful for that because it was a lot of information inside of those books.
And what, as you're putting this together, what surprised you about the publishing process?
That it was done.
Hmm.
That it was done.
Yeah.
That my name was there. It'll be a namesake forever.
If people are looking at trying to find this book, where's the best place they could go to purchase the book?
Oh, on Amazon. They could go on
Okay.
Amazon, or they can also go on Barnes and Noble.
Okay. And also too, if people want to learn more about you, Danette, where is the best place they could go to?
Oh, well, I have an author's page that's on Amazon as well.
Okay. And then they can follow you on Amazon there. And so, as you say, so we're talking about Muffin Meets Chloe, and it's a gorgeous cover. When you actually come out when you're doing the second book, Are you utilizing the same illustrator as well?
I may use the same illustrator. Yes.
And so can people expect also too, is like kind of describe as well, like Muffin's personality versus Chloe's personality? How do they interact with each other?
Well, Muffin, Muffin is a Muffin now. My Muffin now, Muffin's a diva. Muffin is very loving. Muffin always want to be held, always want to be touched. She's actually a pretty awesome dog. She, she is honestly, she doesn't bite or growl at people or no, she's very, very sweet, very sweet.
Right. And how does and is Chloe's personality just like yours growing up, or is it have you tweaked it enough to make Chloe her own person?
Chloe is gonna be her own person. Yeah.
And what aspects are different between you and Chloe personality wise?
Well, like I said, I'm not patient, but but Chloe is patient. Chloe is patient. That's Chloe's gonna be very patient. And Chloe is she explains everything. Yes. Mhm.
What's that one thing, as people are listening or watching this, what's the one thing you wish they knew about the writing process, of writing a children's book?
That is not overnight.
Mm,
That is not overnight. Sometimes it's gonna take time. So don't feel like um defeated or anything like that. Sometimes it takes a little time. Um, and once your book is done, and make sure that you don't just accept anything because you want your book out.
mm,
That's important. If you're taking the time for illustrations, for the wording, for everything, you want to make sure what you're putting out there is what people's gonna want to read.
mm. And so do you also then, Danette, do you, as we mentioned before, you've read this book in front of children before. Do you do like school visits as well?
Not yet. I'm working on that.
Yeah. And so when you put it together, did you put the book together yourself, or did you have someone who actually also designed and put the book together for publishing?
Uh, the illustrator and the pup, they did it all.
Your plan is to actually come out with an entire series of
Hmm.
Muffin Meets Chloe.
Hmm. And eventually, Muffin and Chloe is gonna be a little different. It may
Yeah.
just be Chloe. Chloe may go into something different.
Then, oh, so how do you stay creatively inspired, Danette, to continue doing this?
I, you know what? It's just a drive that was I've always wanted to write a children's book. So once I seen the responses from the children, and it just made me feel good. So it's a great feeling to see that you're putting a smile on somebody else's face.
Right.
So that's my motivation there. If the child can take, depending on what their situation is, they can just get out of that situation for a second and just be in imagination for a little bit.
And so listen, that Danette, you'll have to come back on when you get your next Muffin and Chloe book out then.
Oh, no, absolutely. No problem. I'll come back
Yeah.
on anytime.
All right. Thank you so much, Danette.
Thank you so much, Barney, for having me.